Welcome to our series featuring the audio edition of my book Iris After the Incident, narrated by Rachel Coates. A playlist with all the chapters in order is on the Romance Class YouTube channel. We hope you've been enjoying romance books by Filipino authors and do check out romanceclassbooks.com. Content warnings are mentioned in Chapter 1 and are included in the description for this video.
Chapter 24. Sleepover, Matilda said when I showed up at her door with an overnight bag of clothes and my laptop. How long can I stay? As long as you need to. What's your Wi-Fi password? Easy as that. When it came to finding relocation space, it was harder the first time I ran away. That I kept going back to the same house for as long as I did and shared space with people who were ashamed of me was now unthinkable. The ninth floor was as much his home as mine, and I couldn't stay there until I'd figured out how to talk to him. Matilda's was a temporary solution, one that had decent broadband and smelled of floral essential oils most of the time. Not bad. You're not going to move out, are you? She asked me at breakfast on day 2. No, I said. I like it here. Good. You know how I feel about that. Don't let him chase you away. Breakfast at Matilda's meant toast and fancy jam, also a winner in my book. By then, I also discovered something about her routine that she'd never let on before. She worked, from home, in flowy butterfly print robes, but it was work nonetheless. Her laptop was stationed so she could look out the window, and there was a document open. She wasn't constantly online, so her screen would show the same document when she left her seat. I didn't want to ask her what she did. Living in her home already seemed like too much information. It didn't look like she was writing it, though, so maybe it was something she was reviewing or editing. This was what she did, I assumed, in between trips to the pool area. We talked a little about Kimmy and Manolo's wedding. Matilda and Mosh were witnesses, best bishes, but apparently only found out on the day of the wedding. A civil ceremony of less than 10 people, then drinks after. The bride wore red. No one was allowed to talk about what had happened. When Gio and I visited Manolo at the motel photo shoot, he was married by then. Gio didn't get the memo either, most likely. I couldn't imagine doing something like that, but yeah, that was an intense family. The email alerts kept coming, but only trickled in. Whoever was tipping off the sites obviously didn't get an invite to Sunday's engagement party. The idea that someone would have gotten a photo of that cable car ride was strange, but I was also curious, because damn it. For all the silly jumping to conclusions about us, nothing could have beat that. That would have lit up the blog for days. But no one picked it up, so that juicy tidbit went unnoticed. Too bad for you all. I wondered what other crazy things happened to other people that we never got to see. By day 3, I needed to replenish my clothes and supplies. I did a run early in the morning, thinking that was the best time not to run into Gio. Upon entering my apartment, I stepped on 5 notes, folded, all his handwriting. And I almost laughed, because for all the romance of old-fashioned correspondence, it was also easy to ignore and throw away. Or at least pushed into a corner with one foot. I saw it, but I didn't see it. On day 4 of living with Matilda, the email alert stopped. The activity on the original blog posts ended. No new comments. Gio was the object of internet scorn for under 9 days this time. And then the people moved on. Again. It's because of that model's dick pic. You want to see? Matilda explained. With that helpful offer, which I refused. You know it's better when there's no blur. There was one new message I did get. A chaser at the end of a sour cocktail. Liam. Do you want to see me? Of course I do. And within seconds I received it. A forwarded email, sent again by Tita Ara to her family and dozens of friends. Dear darlings, I have decided, for my own peace as I continue to age, to forgive. I have decided that as much as we try, sometimes a person just resists the good path, and when they do that, we, at some point, must accept that they will learn the consequences of their actions. Our dear Iris has always been a handful, and maybe it's time to let her live her life, with our good wishes. knowing that we will welcome her back wholeheartedly if she decides to turn away from those influences to do the right thing. Ara. I texted Liam. What the fuck? Liam. She's here right now, at home. They're talking about forgiveness and shit. Me. When did she find out about the new thing? Liam. Yesterday. She hasn't left. They talked about you for hours and hours. Me. I thought she forgave me. Liam. That's what she said. I guess it's safe to go out again, I joked, returning to my place in Matilda's world. I got word that my family forgives me. We were talking over dinner. Well, while I had dinner on day 4, while she picked at a bowl of grapes and sat on the sofa. It was always safe for you to go out, Matilda scoffed. You know what I mean. I don't know what you mean. Do you mean, is the 9th floor safe for occupancy? My fork didn't have any food on it when I bit it. Yeah, well, he can't make me talk to him if I don't want to. Why don't you want to again? I don't know what to say. Yeah, Matilda said. You said that on Monday. You would have had days to come up with a new answer. Not for lack of trying. I thought about a lot of things at night. In the shower, at my desk at work, everywhere. I missed him, but then asked myself if I should hate myself for missing him. Because if I opened the door to him again, this would happen. It would keep happening, even if I didn't give a shit. Was it healthy for me to keep fighting? What do you need, Iris? You know what you need? Matilda said, eerily. I nodded. I think I need to go back home. Liam. Right now? Me. Yeah. Liam. But it's late. Me. I don't care. By the time I got to the home I grew up in, it was late. It was strange to be at that doorstep again, with the same overnight bag I took with me when I left, and the same one I'd taken to Matilda's. It wasn't even real luggage or anything. It was a big tote, but sturdy, with reinforced lining and a zipper. I could carry days' worth of clothing and supplies in there, and nothing would spill out. The move to Envy Park was the result of planning, but when I did move out, it was quick and dramatic, with shouting and crying. This tote was perfect for throwing stuff into and then storming off in a huff. Nighttime, at home, wasn't very quiet. Dad watched the news. Mom would be on the phone with Tita Ara, if not speaking to her right there in the house. Liam would be coming in from some dinner before midnight. Maybe they knew I was coming, because the house was bright and noisy all right, but I felt the heavy anticipation. They should have known I would show up after they announced it, that I had been forgiven. Liam was watching me from when I had gotten into the front gate and was responsible for pulling me into the house. I'm sorry for being a bitch, he said. But why are you here? What happened? I hugged him. I had the strangest time with someone else's family. All families are strange, you know that. Some stranger than others. God, it felt good to hug him again. Liam, I miss you. I miss knowing you're across the hall if I need you for something. I need that in my life again. Sis, I've missed you more. So, are you seeing Jules? I always see Jules. You know what I mean. That deserves a long story with drinks and steak. I checked the time. Maybe not tonight, then. Are you really coming in? Of course. Like before, right? Like when Liam told me to come back in. I'd already spent too much time outside, except he didn't look comforted or relieved. He knew as well as I did that this wasn't over. My parents and aunt were in the dining room. No surprise, it was always where at least one of them was at any time of the day. Good evening, I said. When I was younger, we joked about these 3 people being shapes. My dad was a square, my mother a rectangle, Tita Ara an oval. Liam and I would draw them as those, with hair on top and shoes at the bottom. Maybe a handbag for the oval. Those basic shapes were still visible in a way, but time seemed to have shrunk them. Did that happen? Iris. It was Tita Ara who spoke first. She always did. Liam and I also like to speculate on the epic favor she must have done for my parents when they were younger, for her to get the position of power like this, and for so long. No one else talked about it because Ara Len Larioka had always been the queen bee of their lives, and they never questioned it. Tita Ara, I said. Sometimes I still had dreams about this, about coming home and the kind of welcome I'd get. Would I get hugs and happy tears? Would someone throw a plate at me? Would someone pull my hair? I didn't think of this being so quiet. I guess I had to speak up. Someone sent me the email you wrote, I told them. Just now, actually. I wanted to come over right away. A familiar look came over my aunt's face. Of course you would, it seemed to say. She always did fancy herself an expert on us, on every single member of this family, an expert on everything we needed. My mom and dad lived by what she decided they needed. They were waiting for her cue, even now. I dropped by to say that I forgive you too, I said. Forgive me? Tita Ara recoiled. You're something else, aren't you? I thought in time you would have humbled. Seems like you take after your dad in many things. My dad, Ara's younger brother, stood up at this. Ate. No, because she wasn't done yet. Iris, after all that you put your family through, how dare you come here and say you forgive me? After everything we tried to do for you, you ungrateful harlot. My mother gasped. My father might have too, if he were the type who did that. But Tita Ara wasn't the first person to call me that, though maybe her choice of words was more creative. I was pleased to discover that the word, or the anger behind it, no longer made me instantly dissolve into tears, even when delivered by one of the persons closest to me. This was starting to feel right. I only needed one short breath to get myself ready for the next thing. Yes, I forgive you. I don't know why you treated me that hurtful way, but I understand it. You're fiercely protective, and you're protecting something you know is yours in the way that you know how. You cut me off so what's yours can survive, and I appreciate that now, because I know I have to do the same. Wait, my mom spoke out of turn. It was never her turn when Tita Ara was around. Wait, you're not coming home? I shook my head, but this time with confidence. No. But we said it's okay. It can still be okay, Iris. We can forget what happened just now. They don't get it. I didn't need to be around people who wouldn't get it. Figuring it out was already such a task. It doesn't matter, but I'm glad you're beginning to think it could be okay. I looked at each of them, at their faces that were beginning to change. Thank you for sending that email, Tita Ara. I'll move on with no hard feelings, but I can't come back and act as if nothing happened. Maybe when you all accept that, we can talk again. But this is a step. The familiar sound behind me was Liam. I knew he'd disappeared for a bit and came back, and heard most of what I'd said. The older people in the room were still in shocked silence as I turned around and headed out. I'll drive you back, Liam said. And I got these from your room. I peeked into the paper bag he had, and it was some things that I had left behind in the rush of running away. That good pair of jeans, those purple flats, that favorite old shirt, unused notebooks. You knew I wasn't going to be staying, I said. Your bag's empty, he said. It was. I didn't come armed with old baggage. I came to rescue a few treasured things, one last time.
That was chapter 24 of Iris After the Incident, narrated by Rachel Coates. Text and production copyright by Mina Villas-Guerra. This chapter was about the toxic relationships we have with people we've known the longest and figuring out when it's time to let them go. For something with similar feels, check out Prep and Prejudice by Mirren B. Flores. Link in the description.